Alright guys, so a warm welcome into this video. It's a very new style of video. I haven't made any of these before, but I honestly just wanted to sit down and make a raw video about my completely honest thoughts about where the entrepreneur space online in particular is going in 2025 at the moment. So yeah, as mentioned, like super raw video. I brought my iPad. I wrote down a few notes that I think is worth mentioning. And just some things that I've seen that has been so important for me in particular and the students that I've worked with over the past few years, and what I've seen being one of the most like impactful things for them and how they've essentially managed to grow in the way that they've grown like over the past few years. And the first thing that I really wanted to cover is this like common like wrong perception of like online courses and the way that people go into this entire space and like the mindset that they have going into buying online courses and getting mentors and like programs that helps them actually start an online business. This is like one wrong perception that I've seen time and time again. And I'm no different. Like it was the exact same thing with myself when I bought my first coaching programs way back when I started. It was the same perception I had. So it obviously doesn't come down to anything with you necessarily. It comes down to the teachers and the way that it's promoted out there. And that's sad reality is that's how it works essentially. It's the marketing itself. But I want you to be aware of this so that when you go into it, you also understand it. So my goal is really to make this video as well so that you can be equipped with the knowledge, knowing that when you actually go into buying your first mentorship or like programs or courses or anything similar to it, that you actually know these points firsthand, and then you can hopefully leverage that to that when you hit like a road bump or anything similar to it. You can look back at this and understand like, okay, it's not a problem with me. It's just a part of the actual journey and the learning curve that you have to go through in order for you to get to the point that you want to get to. So with that being said, sorry for ranting a lot here, but the common misconception that I see for people going into their first online course is that they think that the course is the thing that actually is making them the money. So they think that when they go into their first course itself, after 1, 2, or 3 months, they're just going to be rich by consuming this course. So they're just going to watch it. They're going to do what's inside of the course, or like the bare minimum essentially. And then after that period of like 2 or 3 months, they're going to be rich and get to the point that they wanted to get to. And that's just not always the case. Don't get me wrong, there's people getting like tremendous success with their first online businesses starting out and kind of just getting going with it. But it's not the common thing that happens for all people, because majority of people that are starting out, they need to learn all these things first, and they need to learn how they operate themselves before they actually become the people that are taking action enough to the point where they're actually getting the results that they can be capable of actually getting with the online business in itself. So what I mean here is that what I wrote down, like the important note that I wanted to bring up here, is that like in reality, the course is never going to be the thing that actually makes it work. The course makes your process and everything that you're learning and your entire business itself and your journey is going to make it way more simple and way more like streamlined, because you have this roadmap and this blueprint that you're following. But it's never going to be the thing that you consume that will just make you a whole bunch of money. That's not the thing that's going to happen. That's not how it works. The thing that essentially allows you to do that is going to be yourself. So like you are the person that has to take this course into action, and you have to execute on it. And you have to be the person that actually uses this map that you have gotten, which is the course. It's your treasure map essentially. And you are the one that has to navigate that. Because you can get the map, but if you're not like, if you can't see what's on the map, or if you are not executing on it, or if you're going the other direction on purpose, you're never going to get to the end destination and the goal that you had in mind. So what I mean with this is that you can have all these fancy things. You can have fancy courses, expensive mentorships. You can have the best laptop. You can have like all these fancy things. And I used to think that was actually the thing that would allow me to get to the point that I wanted to get to. But at the end of the day, if I never actually took action on the things that I was told, and if I actually didn't use this blueprint and this treasure map that I was handed in the beginning, of course I'm never going to get to the goal that I had in mind in the first place. So you are essentially the person that defines how well you want to make this work. Nobody else. Like, you are the person that has to make this work. So I'll read this up again for you, like the entire thing, so you understand it like word for word. The course is never going to be the thing that makes it work. The course is going to make it more simple and easy for you to navigate. But the thing that's going to make it work is you. And if you aren't going to make it work, well, then it's not going to work. So that is like my point with it. Like, you have to actually treat this map as it's something like that your life depends on. So that is the most important, one of the most important things that I've seen. And like, at the end of the day, like, the courses itself, like, people have really good intention with it, and you can make a course so good. And the same thing I've been doing. I always strive to like make our products as good as I possibly can. But at the end of the day, like, you can't like put all the faith into the product in itself. You can only give as much information as you can. But at the end of the day, like, you also have to look at the actual candidates that you're getting through to that course in particular, and see if they're actually willing to take action on it. Don't get me wrong, like, there's bad people out there as well trying to trick you with bad courses as well. But majority of the times, like, people will make great courses. All it takes is that you just have to take action on it. That's all it takes. It's not the course necessarily. It's not the coach that are being like arrogant or like annoying or anything, or doesn't want to give you the entire like thing, or gatekeeping anything from you. It's just coming down to like, are you actually taking action and doing even more than it's required? So like, instead of just going in with the mindset of like, okay, well, I'm going to consume this course, and then one, either not take action, or two, take the minimum action that you can, why not just like go in with the mindset of like, okay, well, now I'm going to just like, first of all, outlearn everyone. I'm going to learn everything that's in here. I'm going to understand it. And I'm trying to like expand my mind even further. So leverage like other platforms as well to get even more knowledgeable in these areas. And then lastly, like 10x the inputs. If somebody tells you to do 100 outreaches or reach out to 100 people on a daily basis, do 10x the amount of that. Because why would you not do that? Like, it's just crazy to me sometimes that people are always trying to like go in to do the bare minimum. Because one, they might think that the course is just going to get them the outcome immediately. Or two, they forget this fact that like, they are actually the people that makes this work for them. Meaning that they are the ones that defines like how well they want it. So if that is what it comes down to, why would you ever go in with the mindset of like, okay, I'm just going to do the bare minimum and then just do what people tell me? I would always just 10x the inputs that I could. So to sum up the point here, I know I ranted a bit here, but to sum up the point, what I really mean is that your aim should always be to outlearning everyone and taking more action than the hardest working person in that given room that you're in. And when I say the work, like the room that you're inside of, it comes down to the community that you are in. If you bought a mentorship program, try to be the person, look for the people that are working hard and become like even more hardworking than them. Not necessarily hardworking, but looking at the actions that they're taking, and then 10x your inputs from that. So like, if they do 100 outreaches, do 1,000, like just do more, because then you can always see that there's levels to it, and you can always be a better version of yourself and do more. And then your goal might be that you want to make a full-time income or get your first client, and that's perfectly fine. But if you 10x your input, you are way more insured to actually get to that point, but also way closer to actually hit the next milestone, which is after that. So that's my point with it. Now, the reason why I actually came up with these points that I wanted to bring up, and more so like specifically this very specific point, is because this week actually, when I'm recording this video, I had two really good like conversations with my students. One that I had with a guy called Karim. He's one of my really, really good students, very young students as well. He started his entrepreneur journey when he was 17 years old. He was going to school at the time. And I still have massive respect for that guy because he's very, very young. He's 18 to this day. He's been going for about a year now. But the thing that he has always had this mindset of just like being so attached to what he's working on, meaning that like he has been so purpose like driven towards the goal that he had. Like he's just never been stopping for anything. So no matter what people told him that it was stupid, or like, oh, this course is a scam, or like, no, these people are not going to help you get there, or whatever, he has just always had the opposite like mindset of it. And I had this really good conversation with him the other day, and we talked a bit about like his growth journey and what he's really been doing to actually achieve the goals that he had in mind, because he actually reached his one of his biggest milestones that he had this month or last month of this year, after a year essentially. So his growth cycle was that he had a very, very tough period starting out, and it took him like months, like even upwards, I think 4 to 6 months before he actually started to get traction. And the first 2 months, he was negative $5,000 with his business, meaning that he was down $5,000. He lost $5,000 being a 17-year-old. So that was a hard point for him. But what I'm trying to get a point across for here is that he just never stopped. And majority of people would 100% have given up at that point. Because it's just like everything just seems like it's against you. When you're at that point, it's like you're 17 years old. Everyone's saying that it's not going to work. The course is a scam. But he just kept on having this mindset of being like stuck in it. And he's like, okay, I'm deeply inside of it now. So it's like, if I look at myself as a stock, well, I can either say like, okay, well, now my stock is down $5,000. Do I want to just cash out now and say that was it? Because then I for sure lost $5,000 and the opportunity cost from actually like building this company and growing to the point that I actually have in mind, like even further than this point. So do I want to do that? Or do I want to like go in with the intention that I had in the first place, which was like investing in myself and actually like seeing this like this growth cycle just like increase over time? Because it's not day trading. Like you're not day trading in yourself. It's not like you buy a stock and the next day you just like worth 100x your original value. Like that's not how it works. It's over time and you build up value for yourself. And that was the mindset that 17-year-old Kareem just had in mind. And I think that was just so cool to see. I even myself, I've been so motivated by it, and I just think it's so cool to see. And then a year later now, I had a really good chat with him last week, and we talked about this growth cycle and where he's at now. And he's now 18 years old. He dropped out of school, and he's doing more than $10,000 a month, every single month, like in retainers with his company, which is absolutely insane to see for me. He's traveling to Spain and everything. And it's not really about the revenue mark or anything about that. I think it's more about the principle behind that. Kareem actually just like stuck to this thing, and he betted on himself instead of like the course and the business model and like the coach in itself alone. So he didn't just like put all bets on like our shoulders, say like, you guys have to like make me this amount of money, otherwise I'm just done, I'm out. It's like he always just found new ways to like make it work. And then we've just been working together. We've iterated and come up with new processes and new ways that he could potentially grow. And then after a year now, like all credits to him, like he's just been growing massively and actually scaled to a point where he's doing 10K a month, which is just so cool for me to see. And then, so that was the first reason for why I wanted to make this point in the first place. The other point that I wanted to get across was Emil, my other student, would send me a message the other day. And he said like, he had like frustrating periods as well. And like we had a bit of a conversation, and he reached out to me and said like, look, dude, like, honestly, I know that you guys are not going to do anything for me, like in terms of the work. You guys are not going to do the work for me, and nobody will come and save me and do everything for me. All it comes down to is that I actually take action myself and I do what you guys tell me to do. So we can tell you everything that you need to do and give you the roadmap, but if you're not doing it, it's not going to work. So Emil took this in and he executed that, and a few like months later, after actually like building a solid structure for himself, he's scaled to like a pretty solid milestone that he has had, which is $5,000 a month. Now he's working with a good handful of good clients as well. And he's also like early 20s, like really, really young. And again, it has nothing to do with the revenue market itself. It's just like setting a milestone and understanding the fact that like you should never put the bets on like somebody else's shoulder purely for your success and your future and your destiny, essentially. It should always just come down to like you essentially wanting to do more for yourself, and then you put the bets on yourself because you know that you could actually do it. So that's like what it all comes down to. Those are the points that the first point that I wanted to bring up here, and with Kareem and Emil as like really good examples for making this happen. Now, the other thing that I wanted to bring up is that when you're going into this, to those of you guys that are watching this right now, maybe you have already tried starting a business. Maybe you haven't started it yet and you're just so confused and not sure where to start. I want to tell you that it's not going to be easy at all, but you are probably built for it. And what I mean with this is that, like, so many people, again, if you've tried going into entrepreneurship, or if you're on your kind of like on the edge to going into it, what you'll experience, or what you have experienced in the past, is this, like, people going into the entrepreneurship journey, and they feel this like form of like excitement and motivation. They feel so great at like starting this new venture. Like it's something new, it's a new beginning. They're going into something, they've seen it in front of them. Like there's this clear path. I'm going to start this thing and I'm going to be rich, or whatever your goal might be. That's like the intention that they might go into it with. But then they get scared and something happens along the way. And they start to feel this like form of discomfort as well. So then they start to question themselves. And then before you know at it, well, then these people have actually flipped on a plate 180 degrees. And then they start telling themselves that they might not be able to do it. They start to question their abilities, if this business model even works, and if it's even like a potential for them to get going with this in the first place. And they probably aren't even meant for doing this. So that's what they start telling themselves, because they might meet one road bump or anything similar to it. So then after that, the most obvious reason is that they give up. So they just stop doing it. And then they, at that point, they obviously have no more intentions of like continuing with the company itself, because they've just felt this like resistance. So they think that they aren't meant for it. And I think honestly, this point where people are giving up is so sad for me to see. Like it's so yeah, I think sad is the best word for it. Because of course you're built for it. Like when you're starting out, of course you're built for it, but it's going to be hard. It's going to be harder than ever to get going with a business model that you haven't started before. You haven't no experience in or anything similar to it. But your identity hasn't changed to the person that is capable of doing this just yet. And that is the entire reason for why this becomes so hard, because you aren't the person that you need to be just yet. And that's the whole point. You aren't supposed to be from the beginning. I don't think that you're born into it, unless you, obviously, the only thing that you do is like training from a very young age, being spoiled to like the entrepreneurship world or anything similar to it. But even that in itself, it's changed. You go from being a baby to understanding something, and the thing you understand is entrepreneurship. So no matter where you're at, like it takes change, and it takes the sort of like courage to actually wanting and being willing to actually take that like in and do that for yourself, that change in itself. But what I can tell you, my point was, I'm on a bit of a rant now, but like my point is that you are still built for it. You might not be the person that has like the traits for it just yet, but you are built for it. The goal that you have is that you should be becoming okay with discovering like this new side of yourself that is a bit unknown. It's a bit uncertain, and you might not know exactly what's waiting for you in the future. That's what you should in reality just be open for doing. And no, that is by no means an easy task. Like it's probably one of the hardest things that you're going to be trying out. And I also do want to say, like, just the notes that I've written down here, nobody said that it's going to be easy. It's going to be so hard. But what you're going to go through is change. And change is not easy, but it's what's necessary for something to actually change for the better. So those are the things that I had here on my iPad, essentially, like the 2 points that I think was so important. So the first thing is that you outlearn everyone, and you become the smartest person in the room by just like not solely relying on the course, solely relying on the coach, solely relying on somebody else's abilities, but yourself, because you know you can do it. And then the other thing is that you are probably built for it. You just need to discover that side of yourself that you haven't discovered yet. And it takes change, and change is fine, as long as you do it for the better. And I believe that if you understand this point, then I believe that there's truly also like a huge potential lying in front of you. And this year and the next 5 years especially is going to be super, super exciting in particular. And the reason why I think that is because there's so much stuff happening, and honestly, I truly also wish that if you are sitting in a position where like you tell yourself that this is not for you and you might be on that edge to like giving up, that you actually just like look yourself in the mirror again and ask yourself if you gave it all and if you've tried actually doing the change that is necessary for you to become that person that you need to become. Because if you haven't done that, I truly hope for you that you find that version of yourself and like get to experience this sort of like world of entrepreneurship, because there's so much exciting stuff happening at the moment. And I think honestly everyone that feels for going into business should be like allowed to also experience that, to be honest. The last thing I want to say is that obviously if you are sitting at a point right now where you are starting out, or you're already going with your online entrepreneurship journey and you need any help or anything, then always know that you can reach out to me on Instagram. You can drop me a DM and I'm more than happy to help you out with anything that I might be able to. Again, very long video today. I just wanted to try a new style and kind of give you guys my honest review on entrepreneurship in 2025. Those are two really, really important points for me in particular and my students that they have learned a lot from. I hope you learned something from this, and if there's anything that you need help with, again, contact me on Instagram or drop a question down below in the comment section, and then I'll just wish you an amazing day, and I'll look forward to seeing you in the next video.